Is it time to clean house? Well, so I just sold my home that I lived in for over 30 years. The home that I raised my sons in, the home that all the memories were made in, the home that I brought my sons home from the hospital, the home where we lived every single day of their childhood until they moved out. I lived in that home until after my third son passed away. And then I began to explore and do some different things that I never thought I would have. Never knew I could. And I turned that home into an Airbnb, and it was very successful and very beneficial for me. And for years, I thought, should I sell it? What do I do? It was an active Airbnb, and it was earning me money. But I remember a few years ago when I didn't know what to do, and I remember thinking, I don't want to hire a realtor. I don't want to go through all that. And so I prayed, like, if I'm supposed to sell this, let somebody come to my door, and then I'll sell it. That's the way I'll know if I'm supposed to. And so in June, I was at a conference, at a training, and just happened to look on Facebook, and it said, if somebody has a house on this street for sale or that you'd like to sell, let me know. We have somebody that's interested. And I remember thinking, I've always considered it. And so I messaged the person and said, I have a house on that street. I have thought about selling it throughout the years, but it's an active Airbnb, so I'm not actively trying to sell it at all by any means. It's doing good, but I'm willing. And so when I got home from my training, I went home, got home, and they said they wanted to come see it. So they came to see it, and they wanted it. And so they made an offer, I accepted, and today's the day we close. And so I was out of town most of the summer for another training. And when I got home, it was a very, very short time period for me to get my stuff out. Now, it was an active Airbnb, so the majority of the home was cleared out and just staged and set up for guests that came. That was easy. But then there was the shed that had been there 30 years. There was the attic. There was the garage, because we had closed that off to the guests. And then I have what I call the cave. All of that had my stuff in it. And so there was a lot of cleaning out to do. A lot. And so I began cleaning it out. And the other part of the story is I had moved to a home 6 months ago because I was teaching school last year. And from the school to my home that I had lived in for 30 years, it was 20 minutes. And I bought a home that was 10 minutes. And so the reason I bought a home was because I knew it was cheaper for me to not live in my home of 30 years. It paid me well to not live there. And so I explored all the options of maybe getting a camper, because I had lived in my camper before and I loved it. And I thought, well, I'll get a new camper. But even trying to find another place to put a camper and then buying a new camper, the lot rent and the payment would be more than a house note. And so I bought a new home. And that just came together quickly also. And so, but when I moved to this home, I didn't bring anything with me much. I brought what I needed, but my other home had all my furniture from before being an Airbnb. So anyway, so I had a lot to clean out. A lot. a lot. And I sold a lot because it's like, I don't need a bed. I don't need a couch or the bookshelves and all the things, because I had already kind of redone things over here in my new house. So anyway, I cleaned out. So I guess my question for y'all is, have you lived in a place for 30 years and you haven't cleaned out in a long time? Because there's so much that accumulates. And then I was thinking about my ladies and about when we divorce and when our kids move out, it's like, what do we do with the stuff? Like, that's our memories. That's our, wow. I mean, my kids' stuff, my kids' trophies or toys or whatever. And so it's an interesting situation to be in. And then another thing happened. This morning I was listening to YouTube and it rolled over and this lady was talking, and she realized her life was cluttered. And she knew that for her to move forward, she would have to clean out the clutter. And then she did, and so many new things opened up in her life. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen for everybody, but that was just the story that I heard in and amongst me moving out of the old house. And I sold a lot of it, but I still had a lot of it, and I kept it because I didn't know exactly what to do at the moment. And so I still have to clean it out. But it made me think of something else. So when I divorced, then my third son got cancer and he passed away. And then it was after that before I went back to live there. And I remember when I was in there, and the bed that had been mine and my husband's for 26 years or whatever was still there. The furniture was still there. And I remember one day I said, I'm just getting rid of it. And so I got rid of all the furniture that had been ours, sold it, and it left me with a bed, a mattress on the floor, a different mattress. So I sold everything to do with my ex-husband, and I just used one of my children's mattresses and slept on the floor in my room. And so I just want to encourage you out there, if you've gone through a divorce recently, and if you did stay in the same house, or maybe you had to move, but you took the same furniture, I just want to encourage you, maybe think about selling it. Like, go wild. Get a chair, get something that you could use in the meantime, and figure out what's next. But I just want to encourage you to do something new. Get rid of the old. If there's something in your home that's like, oh, that was mine and my ex-husband's, and that reminds you of it every time you see it, I think it's time to get rid of it and let go of it, because it still holds the energy. It still holds the memories when you see it. So just want to encourage you today to clean house, to get rid of some things. And that even if you get rid of it, if you sell that bed or that furniture, you can do something with your stuff. You can put it in a box, or even downsize that. And I always was so frugal because of the amount of money that we lived on every month, and that I raised my children on, because my ex-husband was an educator. So I was always so careful about not throwing stuff away, careful about keeping things. So I understand if that's how you are. That's how I was. But there is something freeing about letting go of old stuff. So I just want to encourage you to do that today. What can you let go of? What have you been holding on to that's not serving you anymore? Think about it. Think about selling it. Maybe somebody you know, their child's going off to college and they need some furniture for their new apartment. And you could say, hey, I'll sell mine. And you don't have to get a new thing right away, a new couch or a new dresser. You can wing it in between and figure something else out. So I just want to encourage you, clean house. Let go of the memories. Let go of the things that are gone and behind you, and start over. And maybe you've never thought of this before. Maybe no one's ever mentioned it to you because you're like, but I can't afford a new couch. I can't afford a new bed dresser and bedroom suit. You don't have to. Just do something different. Get creative. Anyway, comment down below if you have divorced and you had to get rid of stuff, if you need to get rid of stuff, or where are you in that journey? Are you still holding on? Anyway, I want to hear from you. Thanks for watching. And I've created a community for women so we can hang out together, talk about stuff. It's not on a public social media platform. So if you want to know more, comment down below, join, and I'll send you some information. See you next time.